Yo, it's Scratchin' podcast, DJ Mo Beatz. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the city right now, downtown Detroit, Foundation Hotel in the podcast studio. Got my homie Tommey Walker in the building, founder of Detroit versus Everybody. And, of course, the brand is all over the place. You know what I'm saying? You see it on TV. You see it at the airports.
Thank God.
Multiple locations. Man, so just give me kind of a background, like when you first started the brand, what was even like the thoughts behind it? Like,
So I started the brand back in 2012. It was like the very end of the Kwame Kilpatrick situation. If you were in the city of Detroit, you know how big of a deal that was.
Everywhere.
It was just like, it's kind of like overwhelming and underwhelming at the same time how much energy that got. But at that time, that's what was going on, right?
Yeah.
So I remember that I was just, in the D doing graphic design, you know what I'm saying? And I got a chance to work with a lot of different artists and things of that nature. I got to travel a little more. Then I remember on a trip to California. Now, it was an important trip because before I got off the plane, before I went to the airport, right? I was packing at the crib. I had an apartment down on Jefferson. I was packing at the crib, and I was watching them talk about Kwame, right? And it was like what I had been seeing, so I was, numb to it, and it was what it was. But going to LA, getting off the plane, now, when I first got off the plane, the first billboard that I saw was Eminem's, right?
Okay.
Then I get to the airport and then I get to the hotel, I turn on the television, and I see Kwame on the TV, right?
You out in LA.
And I'm out in LA.
Okay.
And it was like headline news, and it wasn't new. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a new thing.
Yeah.
And it just really made me connect some wires, like how important Detroit was in the whole grand scheme of things. I had never thought that, across the country they'd be, tuned in to, exactly what's going on to Detroit at the same time. Even though it is important, you know what I'm saying? It was entertaining. It's like, it just never thought like y'all, I figured y'all would be off of it by now. So then the wheels start spinning, and then as the time goes, a chip began to grow on my shoulder because the positive shit that's going on right now in the city of Detroit had already been going on. You know what I mean? But, and it was heavy, but it wasn't getting a lot of attention. It wasn't getting any media coverage. It was just, we were on the ground floor doing the work. If you knew, then you knew. You know what I'm saying? If you was in it, then you knew. Otherwise, the same,
all the negative stuff kind of,
but still being pushed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a chip began to grow on my shoulder, and I was like, man, let me use, the platform that I have to actually tell the truth, because there were other Detroit brands that was going on, but I just felt like none of them really had the I feel as if none of them really hit the nail on the head of the feeling of Detroit. Okay. I feel like it was a place for me to come from another angle, and shit, it was. And it just began to snowball from there. So came back a few weeks later, had that on my heart. I remember I was on Jefferson driving, and I remember, it just came to me like, man, Detroit versus Everybody. Like, that's what it was. Like, it was for real, just like downloaded into me. Then I went home. See, now it's a lot that happened before that.
Yeah, I can imagine it wasn't just like, all right, Detroit versus Everybody, let's go.
So, like before that, we had just like, went under on our, we had just purchased, we jumped into the screen printing business. So I was doing graphic design. As you know, we worked together, you know what I'm saying, for years. You know what I'm saying?
Printing up my shirts,
parties,
all of that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, man, it's like, from that point, I was reminiscing. Where did I go back?
So you were on Jefferson.
Yeah.
And the idea came to you.
Detroit versus Everybody.
Yeah.
And I remember a few months before that, maybe like 9 months. I had me and my partner, who's still my partner, Sean now.
Okay.
We had a office in the Russell Industrial Center. It's a popular building down. If everybody's not from Detroit, it's popular in our like industrial complex area in Detroit. And we was doing business out of there, doing silk screen, just for schools and different businesses, just learning it. You know what I'm saying?
And that was before Detroit versus everybody.
That was way
started
before
popping
Detroit versus
off.
everybody.
Okay,
Yeah. Remember?
Just got kind of giving context for people listening who might not know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was before Detroit versus everybody, like years before Detroit versus everybody.
Okay.
So I did that in 2012. Might have been in 2008.
Okay.
9. You know what I mean? And then, so, bam. At that time, I was living in the loft with my silkscreen printing machine. I just had.
So it was out of the crib.
It was out of the crib, right? So it's like we had went through some trials and tribulations with our silkscreening business. We had to leave Russell Industrial Center. We wound up printing, still doing business printing in my friend's mother's garage out in Taylor.
Okay.
Still making a way, figuring it out. At the same time, still doing like graphic design work. You know what I'm saying? Freelancing, things of that nature. And then I was like, you know what? I'm about to figure it out. I talked to one of my mentors, and he was like, man, look, take that machine, leave your apartment, take that machine and go put it in the middle of a loft, right? And then like every day you wake up, you're gonna have to figure out how to make that machine make you some money. So, I ain't had no kids, I ain't had nothing to lose, so I was like, okay,
go for
cool,
it.
I'm gonna go for it. So I jumped in it. Went and got a loft like within the next week. Went and got a loft. Put the machine in the middle of the loft. So bam, now I'm living with this machine. Still doing design work. Still websites. MySpace, all this type of shit. And then go to Cali, come back, Detroit versus everybody. So now we're back to present time. So. Detroit. So because of that, I was able to come with the idea and then go right to print.
Yeah, it wasn't like you didn't have to wait on anybody.
I didn't have to wait on anybody.
In the living room, boom.
Right.
Get them going.
So man, we did that. And I went back home, did a couple of days designing. Maybe it might have took me like 2 weeks to honestly come up with everything exactly the way that I wanted it.
Okay.
But I knew when I did it. Like when I was done, I knew I had it, and that night actually, Earl wore it. Earl Mac.
Okay, Early Mac.
Yeah, he had a performance that night. He had wound up over my crib for he was with Joe. He had wound up for something. I was doing something, and then he was like, "Man, let me wear this tonight." So I let him wear it. Then he called me from the show and was like, "Hey man, they trying to take this off me. Like, this gonna work." He was like, "Man, they going crazy. They going crazy."
Dang.
You know what I'm saying? And
So Early Mac was the first person to wear Detroit versus everybody.
he was the first person. He was the first
Like
person
out publicly.
Yeah, it was between him and Cook the Cash Cow and Dot.
Okay.
I think Dot and Cook the Cash Cow were the first people to purchase it.
Okay.
Because I think that like they were there in the loft that night when I made it. But Earl was the first person to wear it on stage. And he came back and was like, "Man, it's gonna go." And I mean, yeah, that's the plan, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the plan, man. So then he's like, "Man, I'll give him your number." He gave somebody my number, and then bam, down this loft, 4th Street.
Mm-hmm.
There we began like spitting them out, like snowballing. Like from there, like we went live online like a few days later, and it just began the snowball effect. Right.
So even at that point, from Early Mac wearing the shirt and then telling you like, "Yo, they going crazy over this." Like at that moment, did you think that it was going to be as big as it is right now?
I did, man.
Okay.
I did, dog. I did, man. I did, man. Because like in my proof is at that moment. At the same time I registered Detroit versus everybody, I registered versus everybody. You know what I'm saying? So like,
and that's something else I'm
proof.
gonna get to a little bit later down the line.
Like I saw the vision, you know what I mean, from the jump, and So I kind of knew it was, I knew it was gonna work. I didn't know where it was gonna go though. I know how high,
Okay.
I know how broad, I didn't know how many lives it would touch.
All right, so we had a little technical difficulty. The SD card was full, so we back right now. So last part we were on, okay, early Mac, were the joint, started going crazy, and then you already knew that it was going to be as big as it is right now, just off of. I think, were you saying how you
We
knew?
had, okay, so let's say, okay, so this, okay, let me see. Let me go back.
I feel like it's probably a lot of pieces to.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of pieces to it. All right. So
Because then you were also like you guys went live as far as I'm assuming like on the website online or
Yeah.
whatever. Okay, so basically from you going live online and people ordering shirts XYZ, at what point were you like, all right, we need to actually have a physical like location?
So at that time, I was still assembling like my team, man. Like,
Okay.
Okay. So when we came up with that, so bam, we about to do Detroit versus everybody, right? So first thing we did was we list up. We had listed. We had a little plan of what colorways we would introduce, what stores we would first put it in, what influencers we would have wear it, all of that. But we couldn't really launch until our like trademark came through officially, and it was just like a lot of moving parts that came together before we could actually.
Yeah, it wasn't just like, okay, let's go for it. It's like you got to make sure the business was solid, everything was good first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we were just like really coasting along, filling orders online, as well as people that would just call us on the phones or text us or get us through Facebook or Instagram. And bam. So from that point, I met Will. So we were looking. We were looking. So I had Sean, me and Sean, who he's actually my best friend from kindergarten. And he left his job at Blue Cross. He went full in with DV, and then we had actually met Will. We met Will before that, and Will is like the plug. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's like my brother. We formed a bond. It's like a triad, man. Like all three of us on that is like unbreakable. But he has like a gift of connection that is like rare. You know what I'm saying? And when our initial meeting, you know what I'm saying, everything went good. You know what I mean? And we gave Will some gear. And he's like a real classy guy about how he went about it, but he, like the first like look that he gave us, that he got for us was like Eminem.
Oh, and that's for Detroit versus everybody, and then for the first big look to be Eminem is pretty up there.
It was cold.
Like,
Yeah, it was
that's,
crazy.
That's a crazy start.
Yeah. So that was just the beginning of a good working relationship, man. And we've had our heads down in it for the past 6 years, and
So wait, so going back, so after that initial look with Eminem, did that cause like a spike or anything as far as like the sales? I would assume. Or?
So it wasn't even just like that, but like before like it was Eminem. We got like Prince Fielder, and then we got like, and then shit started happening like organically. We go like,
okay.
Then we got American Idol.
Yeah.
And then from American Idol, we got like Stephen Colbert show.
Yeah, Colbert Report.
Yeah, Colbert Report, and then Colbert Report, and then the spikes just.
Because at this point it's pretty much like a movement. Like I feel like initially it's like, okay, Detroit versus everybody. That's people's way of repping. Like you out of town, you see somebody with a Detroit versus everybody, like, okay, yeah, you from the crib. And sometimes they might not even necessarily be from Detroit, but they just supporting what's going on here in the city,
that's what I wanted, man. I wanted it to be like an old English D. You know what I'm saying? So where even if you're not from the city of Detroit, you still respect it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That definitely how I feel like it is right now. Like
you don't feel like repulsed. You kind of feel like I wish that it was
And
mine.
that's
Cool.
that's
You
a
know what I'm
dope thing for it to be on that vibe. People all across different places can rock it and show love.
saying?
So of course now there's multiple locations.
Yeah.
How was that process even like starting with one and then getting to where you are right now?
All right, so we just make each one pay for it. Like the first one, it just started getting unsafe. Like
Okay.
you know, I'm like, you know, serving customers out of my loft. You know what I'm saying? Like the same place I sleep. You know what I mean? Like,
It was a little too hot.
Shit was just getting hot, man. I remember Will used to just be like, on pins and needles, like, man, what the fuck, man? You got to get out of here, man.
Because it's cool starting off.
It's
but
cool
like,
starting
all right,
off, but when it's not non-stop, and then it's like it's your personal phone, it's just like, damn, like, let's you know, it's like let's protect ourselves. But then you get to the point to where you transfer from hustle to business. You know what I mean? Like you get to the point to where it's like, okay, this shit gonna work. Let's go ahead and solidify this. Let's make sure that all our numbers are straight. Let's make sure that everything is making sense, so that we can build a foundation that'll like that we can actually stand on. You know what I'm saying? Not one that, and I ain't just trying to be like a hot T-shirt for a second.
Yeah,
like,
and then it's like, all right, now
you know
what?
what I'm saying? Like that's what we always say. Like we can't be them niggas that had Detroit versus everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, so each step that we made has been one so that it's hopefully been like you know, for longevity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So the first location was the very first one Greektown?
Yeah.
Okay. And then so how far into the period of you starting the brand did the Greektown location pop off? So if you started in 2012.
It was 6 months into it.
Okay.
We went to Greektown.
And that seems pretty quick. You know what I'm saying? You start making the shirts and hoodies and everything, and then 6 months later it's like a shop. But I guess the demand was so up to where it like made sense.
Yeah,
You're like, all right.
we didn't have a choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then so what are the locations that you have now? So you got Greektown.
We got Greektown. We got Eastern Market.
Okay.
We got Southfield Road, Southfield and Telegraph. Southfield Road and 12 Mile.
Okay.
We got 12 Oaks Mall, Lakeside, and Partridge Creek. And we're opening up on 7 Mile Livernois too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, so how did you go about even like picking these different locations?
All right, so Greektown, we got that on a personal relationship. It was a personal situation.
And even that is a real good location, just for people who don't know. Greektown, downtown Detroit, is right near the casino. It's like a bunch of restaurants, and it's like right there.
Yeah, Greektown's like the heart of the city for people. It's like, and that was one of the things that we wanted to make sure that we did, was stay in key parts of the city. That was our key. That was the reason why we went Greektown. The reason why we went Eastern Market.
Okay.
But yeah, Greektown, we had a lot of fun at the Greektown store. That's like that's our baby.
Yeah, especially with it being the number one.
Yeah.
Like the starting point.
Yeah. Learned a lot of lessons with that store.
So so since you mentioned lessons, let's jump into that. Even so, with the whole brand and like opening the stores and it just exploding to where it is right now, like maybe one or two things, like big things that you've learned from this whole process, where now it's like, oh damn, like I should have like done this a little bit different if I would have known that. Like, what's some stuff you might have learned that was really helpful? I know you got some stuff.
Something that I've learned that's been really helpful. Let me see. Like, not even on no cliche shit. I really wouldn't change anything because, it's all part of the journey, But I wouldn't got really no mistakes. But I say advice would be, man, just let everything pay for itself.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like make everything pay for itself so that you don't overextend yourself in the business. Like, And
then also the demand has to be there for it to pay for itself.
The demand
too.
has to be there.
If ain't nobody buying your shirts, they can't really.
You know what I'm saying? But and that's where it gets tricky with me, man, with the brands, because I have strong opinions about brands.
Okay.
I have strong opinions about a lot, like my own what I like personally, aesthetically.
Okay.
So I don't like a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot I don't like.
You're real particular with it.
Yeah, man. But I think that if you can find a way to, like, touch people, but still be yourself at the same time. I think that a lot of people look for all the authenticity. I think that we win in Detroit versus everybody so much because it's so like real and like human. It's like a human, saying, to where it's like there's a point in your life where you're gonna feel like you versus everybody. Period. You know what I'm saying? So even if you're not at that point, it's like, okay, I understand it. And I just think that this stamp, man, like if I used to be 2 miles away, I see somebody walking up with the stamp, it's like that. I see it. You know what I'm saying? It's like a conversation starter. I never really seen a brand like it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But
So
okay. What else?
Yeah. Because I'm thinking, I know there's some gems that you got like along the way. Because like this
team, man.
Okay.
The team is everything. It's your strong team. Like, especially like core people around you gotta be strong. I like to find individuals that have gumption, that's not gonna wait for you. A lot of people that are like movers, like let me say self motivators.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? People that
not necessarily waiting to be like, oh, go do this, go do
that.
Yeah.
Like those it's good to have those around, but for for your core, you want people that can use their brain in creative ways to get shit done. You know what I'm saying? And for a lot of other CEOs, I would say it's like this.
You over there trying to piece it together. You're like, how I want to break it down.
I always just be trying to think about. I just wanted to be the type of boss that I want to work for.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And the type of bosses that I always wanted to work for, or I enjoyed, are the ones that understand that, you need us, you need me, you know what I mean, and that's also on a ground level with them, you know what I mean.
Not like up above looking down.
Yeah. Like you still got that aerial point of view. You still got that perspective because that's your position, but.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that, like, even down, like I always tell my squad, like even down to the cashiers, like the cashiers are as important as the CEO.
Yeah, everybody has a role.
The manufacturers are as important, and it's like if everyone understood that, and y'all inside your organization, you got like clean lines and defined lines of responsibilities and roles, and give people something they can own, that can be theirs.
Okay.
Then it progresses the goals of everyone. You know what I'm saying? And stay prayed up. You know what I mean? That's your only protection. And it's coming.
I see. So wait. I'm gonna just interrupt you. So of course the brand is influenced like tons of people all over, which is apparent because there's a something versus everybody, all these variations. So when it comes to people being quote unquote influenced by the brand or inspired, like how do you, I don't know if you necessarily want to say like how do you combat that, or like how do you really feel when you see all these different brands coming up with something hurts. Versus everybody. Yeah,
it hurts, man.
Because I feel like it's such a broad thing to really keep control of, because everybody can make something and say the versus everybody, and you can't like go at every single person,
right?
Somebody selling shirts out the trunk, like
you can't get them, and them the ones that be like, man, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like the ones selling out the trunk. So like you're not. It's like it's one of them things to where you got to fight, and I'm gonna fight this fight till the day I die. When you own that mark. But you more so protected from the big boys. Okay. You know what I'm saying? The ones that can't hide. Yeah. You know what I mean? The ones that can hide is just, man, you just gotta charge it to the game. You know what I mean? Like this guy like in Oakland sent me a email, man, and like closed down his email address. Like I know that I was infringing on your trademark, and I got the letter and the cease and desist, He's like, man, but I'm just doing this for my family, and just know that you helped my daughter through school. And it was like, well, you know what I'm saying?
That makes it kind of hard. Where it's like, all right,
what?
it's like I know I jacked your idea and stuff, but
just know you did it for a good cause. You know what I'm saying? It's not like nigga, it's just a real weird space. You know what I mean? It's a weird space to be in, but let me tell you, it's not all bad, man. Because when you get the big boys, you got them, and it's good. You know what I'm saying? But the ones selling them out the trunk or out them tents on the corner, man, it's like they can pack up and just go to another corner, and it's like,
true.
Ain't nothing you can do.
You would spend too much time trying to chase after all of them. Mm-hmm. So another thing I just thought about is so inside of Ford Field, there's on one of the walls, there's a huge Detroit versus everybody picture where it's like, what do you call the
like a fat, not a fat head, but damn near like a wallpaper.
Yeah. So even situations like that, like how do you guys work your way into getting inside of somewhere like Ford Field? Like how do situations like that come together?
Man, that one we already had a working relationship. Like each year, the Lions rookies getting like gear.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Lions colored DVE gear. So we had a big presence, in the Lions realm.
Okay.
So we actually in the tunnel. We're in Detroit versus everybody's in the tunnel, and it's in the food court.
That's
too.
exactly what I was meaning. The tunnel. I just couldn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't coming to mind at the time.
Yeah, that's some crazy shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's crazy.
In Ford Field, in Detroit.
But yeah, man. They reached out. They reached out to us, man,
okay.
and brought us in and told us the plans, and she was overwhelmed. It was like,
cool.
yeah, man, let's just go. Let's go, man. But and I'm crazy. Like each year when it starts up, I'm like, man, it's still there, and it's still there. It's like I think this is the third year.
Okay.
It's still there. Yeah.
Nice.
That's crazy. That's one of the craziest things that has happened.
Yeah, that's major. Yeah. And then another thing I just thought about is at the airport. There's a shop. I forgot the name of the actual shop, but your stuff is right in there. Detroit versus everybody, mm-hmm. and then it has by Tommey Walker.
Yeah.
Was it really important for you to make sure that you put by Tommey Walker just to identify?
Yes. Yeah. That was put in there. That was for sure put in there for my future.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Just so people know.
No, whatever for what the next move is, just know that's the guy who did that.
That's
on to the next thing.
Smart.
You know what I'm
Very
saying?
smart.
Thank you.
Man, so back to the whole airport situation. Even
mm-hmm.
something like that. Like, how does it come up to where you get inside of a shop inside of the airport? Because of course you got people that's gonna be coming from all different countries, all different states, and they pass by that.
Yes. And that's what we wanted, man. Like, see, it's like, man, it's like it lives on its own. It's like it has different identities. It's like you have it for sports.
Mm-hmm.
You have it for to rep where you're from. Like you have it to rep where you've been. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it can live in so many different areas. You know what I mean? So that was one of them situations to where it's like it's just the perfect piece to put in the airport. We called a meeting with them, and that, as a matter of fact, we got airport our first year.
Oh wow!
I think we got airport our first year, and it's been snowballing ever since. We actually went from like one store in the Delta Terminal, McNamara, to
mm-hmm.
to two stores in McNamara, and we in McNamara and Smith.
Okay.
I think. It's Smith, ain't it?
Yeah. I feel like
And then we also are in eight other airports throughout the country.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's what the versus everybody shit.
Man, that's amazing, man. So I feel like I remember seeing something where you were doing the collegiate versions of versus everybody.
Yeah.
And then so
Divine Eye.
how many different I don't know what would you call it, like different types of versus everybody, like
mm-hmm.
have you guys put together
like different industries?
So far? Yeah.
Like we've done we've done the Divine Nine.
Okay.
I'm a Kappa.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, that was me showing love to Greek organizations. You know what I'm saying? But we don't have that one no more because of a lot of trademark, trademark situations back and forth with Divine Nine. Shout out to the Divine Nine. And then we got Chevy.
Okay.
Chevy, and we're doing Chevy, and we're doing like all of their different. We can work on that, but we're doing their different models versus everybody. We got the black colleges.
Okay.
As well as we've done. Oh, we did a collaboration with Shady.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like I remember seeing that one.
Yeah. That was actually like the fastest selling release that they had. We made history with those drops. It was like 10,000 pieces in like an hour.
Oh, wow.
Like that. Like it was crazy.
So with that, was it based off of like Eminem tweet or somebody, like how did it just? Okay.
Yeah, we did a capsule, and I think we did 5 pieces. Shady versus everybody, like gym shorts, bag, water bottle, t-shirt, hoodie, and M tweeted it. He tweeted it. He didn't. He tweeted it and he Instagrammed it, and yeah. That shit went crazy.
No, I can just imagine just because the influence that he has worldwide.
And that guy.
exactly. But man, okay, so yeah, we definitely covered a lot just from the beginning up until now, and all the stores opening.
I gotta write out this whole story now because it's like.
Yeah, because I feel like it is so many different pieces. And
yeah, I need to. If anybody's listening, and I fucked it up or missed some spots. Just know I have not.
Yeah, this is off the top.
Yeah, it's off the top of the dome.
And that's because like you said, there's probably so many just different things that have happened over the years. I don't know if I asked you like, so from the beginning process up until now, if there were any like, not necessarily mishaps to where you're like, I wish I would have did this differently, but anything that maybe you weren't expecting and it like affected business or something to where. Trying to think how to really word it. Just any like bumps in the road where it was like, oh shit, like. Because I know it couldn't have been smooth.
It wasn't smooth, man. But let me tell you how I take it, man. I look at it all. I just coast, man. Like, I don't let it bother me, dog.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just play the cards. You know what I mean? But I say that a lot of stress. Let me tell you where some stress came from.
Where it come from?
Some stress came from fucking customer service.
Okay.
This shit taught me how important customer service is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it also taught me how what the customer always right means.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I really just appreciate the whole customer service thing. Like we still as a company we're growing, but just like, dealing with that has been.
Yeah, I can imagine it being interesting at times because somebody can either have a request or a complaint or something, and depending on how you handle them can determine like if they'll continue to be a customer, if they'll like tell their friends to shop with you, or if they'll tell your friends like, man, they on some bullshit.
Or if they go to the internet. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the shit. It's like,
and depending on the person, it can be really dangerous.
It'd be like this. It'd be like this. What happens Monday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then they'll be like, all right, that email customer service on Tuesday. Like I ordered last Monday. Last Monday.
Yeah.
Right. Like 7 days ago, not like yesterday. But you really ordered yesterday, right? So then they're like, yeah. And and I haven't gotten an email, and so on and it's like, okay. And then they'll go to the net, and then you'll call them, and it's like not at all what they said on the net. You know what I mean? And it's like, why
I feel like it's a thing where they definitely just want your attention and want to get stuff handled, but it's like sometimes it can be going about the wrong way like that. Like
and it's just be like, I be wanting to just say, man, this is my life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel like people don't understand
people,
that.
you know,
Yeah.
like, you know, if you go to Yelp, I understand we did something like detrimental, but if you go to Yelp, like, that shit matters now.
I feel like it's people who go out of their way and
You know what I
like
mean?
just leave crazy comments just
It's
to
weird.
yeah.
So I just, you know, but that has been it. Just learning how to just let it be and just, you know, just keep on trucking and just do better next time. That's pretty much just what it is.
There
But
it is.
customer service for the people.
Okay.
And I said team, super important. Customer service.
Actually, let's jump. So, what do you feel like is next for DVE, or what's on the horizon, or what you working on right now?
We got a super crazy 313 day plan.
Okay.
Can't say nothing about it yet. But it's about to be super fucking crazy.
Let's see what's today. Day.
March 4th.
Okay. So yeah.
That's 313 day. If you're not from not from Detroit, that's 313. That's our area code. So you know
Exactly.
what I'm saying. March 13th is
Okay.
a huge day. It's turning more into like a holiday.
Nice.
But I got a big 313 day plan, and then at the store on 7 Mile Living Noise that we're gonna drop. Really excited about that. That's in for those that don't know, that's in the Fashion District, or historical area of Detroit. We got some real cool shit, man.
Okay.
I can't really speak.
Yeah.
on it
You
right
don't
now.
want to
You know
give
what I'm
them
saying?
all the
you know
info
me, man.
right now.
You know I'm quiet with it,
Working.
but man, I'm always plugged, man. You know what I'm saying?
Nice. Well, yeah, man. Like I said, definitely appreciate you coming through the podcast, Scratching the Surface. One more thing, where can they find you on social media? What's all your handles and everything?
All right, so on Instagram, I'm Tommey Walker with an EY, TOMMEY Walker, and Twitter, same thing. And then you can follow Detroit versus Everybody at Detroit versus Everybody LLC, and you can follow Versus Everybody at Versus Everybody LLC, and keep a lookout for Versus Everybody, the brand. We're like the next phase. I can't say this. The next phase is from Detroit to everybody. We present to you Versus Everybody.
Okay.
So we just like really shaping our launch for that.
Okay.
And about to add in some real premium quality goods onto the brand. We're really just about to upgrade our brand.
Okay.
On both ends, some new styles, and we might going into some underwear, and
Stepping it up. Okay.
yeah, it's gonna be fun. 2019.
Okay. Big
Sure.
things on the horizon.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, appreciate you. And
No problem, man.
Man, congrats on all the success.
No
and-
problem. Thanks for support since day one,
no
bro.
No problem, man.
You know what I'm saying? For sure.
Easy.
You was
Yeah.
easily the fourth nigga wear at DVE.
Nice.
Easily. You know what I'm
Nice.
saying?
Nice, man. Well, yeah, that's the podcast. We out.
For sure.
Hey.
All right.